Hi guys. Alright, so what is today? Tuesday? Hopefully, I think. Yes. Alright, so today we are going to go over the Outer Alchemy again. So this is part 3, lesson 10 for anybody that's actually following along with the book. So yesterday was just really interesting. Really interesting. So I found some pretty good and useful stuff within all of this. So, alright, so here we have part 3 on the Outer Alchemy. So, alright, the reason I call the previous form of sex magic Outer Alchemy is because it works with the energy systems of the body and magically charges substances which are outside of the body part of the time. So, Inner Alchemy keeps all of the forces within the body and uses the force of magically directed sexual excitation to strengthen and empower the psychic energies of the body. It's very interesting, especially for the psychic centers of the body. So, where'd I go? I don't know. Oh, there I am. Inner Alchemy keeps all of the forces within the body and uses the force of magically directed sexual excitation. I had read that to you guys. So this Inner Alchemy may be the easiest to work with for a magician who has diligently practiced the rituals of this course. So, alright, Inner Alchemy, sometimes called Tantra Yoga, or Kundalini Yoga, which should not be undertaken lightly ever, involves the taking of the sexual excitation and energy and channeling it to a purpose rather than sexual gratification. When you are quite sexually aroused and stimulated, send the energy up from the groin toward the head. This is sort of a reverse version of the middle pillar ritual. So don't attempt to awaken Kundalini if you are not ready, if you are not instructed by somebody that is, already doing Kundalini yoga. Don't put yourself in the hands of an unethical teacher, and don't do it by yourself because you can go mad trying. Alright, so important, until you have mastered the middle pillar ritual, do not try this technique of causing the energy to rise from the sexual center. Alright, so just be careful. Be very careful when working with alchemy. So, alright, now that I have given the standard introduction on the subject and you're satisfied that you know as much or more about it than I do, I want to tell you that it's all a bunch of garbage. I could use stronger words, but I have tried to avoid the slang which so many people have as a part of their daily speech. However, let me reiterate that 90% of what you hear about Tantra is just plain wrong. And most of the rest is, garbled at best? Yeah, garbled. So let me start by breaking down some popular notions which are totally false. So, Tantra yoga is the yoga of sex. So this is false. Completely false. So, Tantra is a whole philosophy of which one small aspect is involved with sex. So to call Tantra the yoga of sex would be like calling Hatha yoga the yoga of sitting with your legs crossed. So, alright, more and more books are being published which explain the secrets of Tantra. False. The secrets of the tantrics, especially the sexual secrets, have gone underground and are now kept within various occult orders. Probably for many, many good reasons, too. So, where did I go? So most books coming out now are not written by initiated tantrics. They are either compilations, I can't talk, cut and paste jobs, which I often see, so of earlier works, or the author's errors and fantasies. Remember, many of the early tantric texts were written in code, a twilight language similar to the alchemical code described earlier in this lesson. So if you don't know the code, you can only guess at the true meaning of the words. So, it's pretty interesting, I think. Kundalini yoga is the ancient technique of causing the energy to rise up the spine until you achieve enlightenment. False. False. First, Kundalini yoga is a new term invented by Westerners. The ancient term was Layoga, pronounced Layoga. So it was yoga. And was first described over 1,000 years ago. So that's how old this system is. So the tantric who described it also explained that it was only symbolic and not to be taken as reality. Furthermore, do you know anyone who has achieved enlightenment as a result of Kundalini yoga? In your readings, do the authors tell of anyone who has achieved enlightenment as a result of Kundalini yoga? Or do they merely tell you what is supposed to happen? Everything I've ever read tells you what is supposed to happen. So, where'd I go? So, have the authors of these books experienced it themselves? The answer to all these questions is no. I can totally understand why. Wow, it feels like nighttime. Goddamn cigarettes. I'm dying. And it's way too hot. Alright, another little excerpt. So, the Kundalini serpent is coiled 3.5 times at the base of the spine. False. All forms of yoga, to be valid, are true sciences. If proven false, they are discarded. Have you ever seen a snake coiled up in the entrails of a human body? Of course not. It's not there. Again, this serpent is symbolic, not actual, and I think we all know that. So, who would think that there's an actual serpent at the base of your spine? Alright, now that I have dismissed one of the lies about Tantra and the yoga, let's start rebuilding from the ground up. There are a large variety of psychic power centers throughout the human body, which we all know. So they are not limited to the 5, 6, 7, or 8 you usually hear about. As an example, there are several in the head and others in the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. So this will become important later in this lesson. In the meantime, it is absolutely unimportant to worry about whether or not the heart chakra or the forehead chakra, which is the third eye, is open. What is important is to learn how to make the energy flow up from the base of the spine. And that's what opens up. It is so freaking humid. Alright, so here's a theory that he has. Very interesting. Alright, so what I'm about to present to you is not some theory which you are meant to visualize, but scientific fact. It is repeatable and verifiable under laboratory conditions. Wow. So we have actual proof. So if I did not have to explain it to you in this course, I would have you experiment first and discover for yourself what thousands of people know. Further, I do not say this as a result of reading, but rather as a result of my own experience as an initiated tantric. Of course, there are certain things which I cannot divulge as a result of my initiation vows, which totally makes sense, but by making slight alterations as well as coming up with techniques based on secret methods. He says I will be able to give you more real information on inner alchemy than has ever been published in one place. So it's very, very interesting. I'm loving the inner alchemy, just the transformation and, the transmutation of, the negative into the positive. So, alright, so in order to learn about the energy, you must first learn about the breath. So according to ancient tantric manuscripts, which may be the oldest spiritual writings in India, a breath lasts about 4 seconds. Alright, so this means that in a day you breathe 21,600 times. So of course, when you're sleeping or resting, you breathe slower, and when exerting yourself, you breathe faster. Therefore, this number cannot be taken as a real or even average figure. Rather, it is symbolic, and since these ancient tantrics thought enough about the breath to figure out how many times we supposedly breathe in a day, it is logical to assume that the breath was very important to them. So it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense if you go back and if you've ever read the 7 Hermetic Principles, you will see and understand why breath is so important. So, And in fact, it is the oldest and original mantra. The repetitious chant is not that of Om. So, but is the sound of the breath. So, first put down this lesson and just listen to the sound of your breath. So that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. So listen to your breath for a few seconds, and can you hear the mantra you recite 21,600 times a day? When you inhale, can you hear the sound hum? And on the exhale, can you hear your breath say sa? This mantra, hum sa, is repeated unconsciously 21,600 times per day. That's really interesting. So by controlling it, we can learn to control its power. So hum sa is a Sanskrit word which means swan. It is important to understand that you do not say or chant this mantra. Instead, you simply breathe and hear it on your breath. So try it for a few minutes. Exhale or inhale the and then exhale the sa. So this, the less you try to do this, the easier it is to do. Just let it happen. So once you hear the mantra in your breath, you are ready to move on to the next exercise. So that'd be kriya. It's a Sanskrit word which means action. So by doing the following exercise, you will experience the action of the psychosexual energy or Kundalini force. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I love this. So, where'd I go? Where did I go? I can't find where I went, you guys. Okay. Here we go. Alright, begin by doing a relaxation ritual. So once your body is deeply relaxed, begin a slow breathing and listen for the swan. As soon as you hear it on the inhale, the part of the mantra, visualize your breath traveling up your nose through the top of your head, just inside the skull. So, and down your spine to the lowest tip of the coccyx, your tailbone. Hold your breath for as long as it is comfortable, then exhale. As you exhale, visualize the breath and the energy going back up your spine, around the top of your head, just inside the skull and out the nose. And as it goes, hear the sa part of your mantra. So practice this for 10 to 20 minutes, then return to your normal breathing pattern. Pretty interesting. It's very interesting. Wow, my hair is really not cooperating today. I am not very happy with it. This humidity is not good. Alright, so once you can do this comfortably, instead of holding your breath, where'd I go? So then use your stomach to help give you several short exhalations. This is accomplished by repeatedly jerking in the stomach muscles. Wow. My mind just went into the gutter, you guys. I'm sorry. Repeatedly jerking in the stomach muscles. So kind of like those belly things, those 6-minute abs that you see on TV. Where it just crunches your abs, like with those pulsations, whatever they are. So, you should hear your own mantra saying sa 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 na sa sa na sa sa na sa 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 na sa. Keep up the visualizations as above and continue until you need to inhale. Repeat the process for up to 20 minutes. This is actually bringing humor into such a serious subject for me, I have to. I can't be serious all the time, or I would die of boredom. Alright, did you guys do this? Make sure you do it really high, and if you want to get a really high pitch tone, Clench your butt cheeks. Alright. The first time I did this exercise, I had phenomenal results. After about 5 minutes, my body started to jerk about for no apparent reason. It was as if I suddenly got the chills or the heebie-jeebies in a small part of my body. Ooh, and that part just had to shiver or jerk about. Ooh, I don't know if I want that. I already have weird things that happen to my body. Fibromyalgia makes your body jerk and twitch and all kinds of stuff, so if you guys ever see my neck just like jerk or twitch, that's why. Alright, so each little shiver and shake is called a kriya, and is the most common part of the process. So then the kriyas suddenly stopped and my body seemed to change. So I felt as if my body was taking the shape of a long tube, and the sides of my head had begun to spread out. My body began to sway, and my head turned jerkily, and irregularly from side to side. Are you sure you don't have fibromyalgia? At first, I got the feeling that I was doing this to see all sides as a form of protection. Okay, that's totally understandable. The tube, the protection, that makes sense. But then I realized that what had happened was that I allowed the Kundalini serpent, the true Kundalini serpent, to become one with me. My body had spiritually assumed the shape of a serpent, and my head had opened into a serpent's hood. I was that snake. That's awesome. That is profound. That is really profound. What the hell is that? There, it's gone. That's gotta be gone now too. Anyways. Alright, that's really neat. Alright, so then, suddenly, I buckled over, almost in pain, from the most intensely erotic feelings I have ever experienced. Ooh. Needless to say, it took quite some time for my breathing to return to normal. So all of these experiences can happen to you. The only real danger is that you may not expect the sensations that you receive. See, for the middle pillar ritual, that's kind of what happened. I felt very panicky. There was too much energy coming through me, or radiating within my body. That's better. That sounds a lot better. Alright, so normally a teacher would tell you what could happen and would allow you to experience and then rescue you from these unknown experiences. So since I cannot be with you, I am telling you what you may feel and what type of experiences that you should expect. You may not feel the sensation of becoming one with the Kundalini serpent or the intense erotic feelings with your first few tries at this Hum-Sa exercise, but you should feel the kriyas, the jerky motions. If you do not experience them, reread the instructions for this exercise and nothing is left out. Alright, so I think you guys all get the clue of how to actually do this and perform this. So once you have actually experienced the kriyas within yourself, it is important to learn how to experience both the kriyas and movement of the energy in another person. So to do this, you need a willing partner. So your partner should preferably already have experienced the kriyas within himself or herself. So the best position for this exercise is sitting on the floor or on pillows. Ooh, can I get like a harem vibe? Like a tent with like the harems? I like that. So, or possibly on low stools of equal heights. Oh god, like birthing stools. No thanks. You and your partner should sit back to back, preferably naked, with your backs touching along their lengths. If you prefer not to have nudity, the wearing of thin cotton shirts is fine. Both of you should perform the relaxation ritual and then begin the Hum-Sa exercise. You should both breathe at the same time and feel your energy and your partner's energy go up and down the spine. So allow the energy, although the energy does flow within the spine, it is the spiritual essence of the cerebral spinal fluid. It also emanates beyond the physical body. The result of this exercise should be that both of your experiences should be intensified. How cool. That's all I have to say. Is how cool. So it is important to realize that all forms of working with the breath and working with mantras are nothing but substitutes for sexual activity. That's interesting. It's very interesting. If I wasn't so stressed out at night because I cannot sleep, I would probably be trying this, especially what we talked about yesterday in that video. Alright, so the next step is to repeat the last exercise by using sexual activity as a prod for stimulating the Kriyas. So to do this, once again, sit back to back. In the previous exercise, it would have been best if you both were naked. In this exercise, it is a necessity. So here, and if you're with your partner, and you're both magically inclined, and you're both a practitioner, that's cool, that's good. But if you're you try to go out to find somebody just for this, and you really don't have a connection with that person, it just seems like meaningless sex. So that's me, though. That's the Virgo in me. So, alright, so here the breath no longer holds the same import as you move the tactile stimulation, leading to the Kira sensations. After doing the relaxation ritual, both you and your partner should begin sexual self-stimulation. So, I hesitate to use the term masturbate, as to many people this implies only penile or clitoral and vaginal stimulation. Rather, begin by caressing yourself. Feel your face, hair, and ears. Touch your arms. Oh, your hands, arms, chest, and breasts. Okay. Will do. Caress your feet, legs, and thighs. Learn to sexually stimulate your entire body. However, do not touch your partner except with your back. That seems like it would bring the couple closer together. Like, very spiritually connected. I really like that. And there's so much taboo around this, and I don't like that taboo, that bad rap. So, alright, now, once you are both aroused, both of you should begin intense genital stimulation. This means not only stimulating the penis and the clitoris, but also, if you like it, your scrotum, perineum and anus, or inner and outer libido, vagina and the G-spot. Perineum and anus, in fact, you can stimulate any part of your body, which gives you the greatest excitation. However, neither of you should reach orgasm, so don't reach it. Stop the genital stimulation before orgasm is inevitable, but continue to stimulate other parts of your body. So when you feel the immediate need for orgasm fades, return to genital stimulation. So continue this process until you experience your own Kriyas and can sense the motion of energy in your partner. Once you have done this, you may either have an orgasm via self-stimulation, make love with your partner, or choose not to have an orgasm. So with a partner, it just makes it would be that much more romantic. It would be so romantic and just loving and sensual, and not just, plain sex. Alright, the next step is to vastly increase the flow of energy. This requires the uniting of these energies of both partners in a special way. It is a physical technique which automatically increases the energy flows. So for the first technique, both the man and the woman should at least be wearing undergarments. Although more clothes may be worn, the genitals of both members of the couple and the breasts of the woman should have some covering. Swimsuits or tights and leotards also work well, or really sexy underwear. The man sits cross-legged on the floor, on a pillow, or on a very low stool or bench. The woman should sit on his lap facing him so that they can look at each other. She should wrap her legs around him. Pillows may be arranged to make this position easier to maintain for a period of time. Honestly, yes, those positions doing that, they hurt. Yeah, your thighs, legs, everything. So this is the exchange of psychosexual energy, and this is how you should actually do it. So that position can actually, yes, hurt. So just go slow. Yes, go very slow. Alright, so once you have both become comfortable in this position, it is the time for small talk. Alright, so ask your partner if your partner is comfortable. Is there anything that your partner wants you to say, any feelings or emotions of which you or your partner wish to let go? Tell each other your fears and dreams. Unite mentally with each other. That's what I thought this was leading up to, more the unity between the two. So next, start adjusting your breathing patterns. The closeness of the position will make it easy for each of you to breathe at opposite times. When the woman breathes out, the man breathes in. When the man breathes out, the woman breathes in. It should only take a few moments for both of you to become comfortable with the mutual breathing pattern. Next, if you have practiced the middle pillar ritual and worked with the mantra Hamsa, as outlined earlier, you will have very strong effects as you go through the next part of this exercise. However, even if you do not, or even if you have not done so, the physical actions will have an effect on you. The man should look into the woman's right eye, and the woman should look into the man's left eye. As she exhales, he inhales. She should sense the energy rising up her spine and leaving her right eye, while she should feel the energy coming out of her right eye, in through his left eye, down his spine. Very easy techniques. As the man exhales and the woman inhales, he should feel the energy continue down his spine and out through his penis. She should feel the energy coming out of his penis into her vagina and up her spine. So this is represented diagrammically in the figure below. Alright, so this is the flow of energy right there. That is how I will, if you guys have the book, or if you guys can't see that, you can freeze it, pause the video. So that's that. Different. Alright. Now, so, flow of energy. This is very important. Before moving on to the next technique, you must be able to maintain this purpose for a minimum of 20 minutes of this posture, although 40 minutes is preferable. If it is too difficult to remain in this posture, there is an easier alternate, which will also work well. The major difference is both partners can stretch out their legs. He can lean back and use his arms to support himself, or may even lean up against a wall or some pillows if there is room for his partner's legs. So, she may choose to have her legs out or wrap them around her partner below her. So feel the motion of the energy and how it builds to a level even higher than you have achieved alone back to back. So as you practice, you may find yourself shaking from the kiras. This is a good sign, however, because of the closeness due to the linked breathing and the circulation of energy between both of you. Intense sexual excitation may occur, and desire may occur. What is it that you desire? While this too is a good sign, wait until you have finished the exercise 20 to 40 minutes before engaging in intercourse or other sexual activity. You may find it to be some of the most ecstatic lovemaking you have ever experienced. I'm very interested. Very. Alright. Okay, the next step is to repeat the above exercise while unclothed. At this time, the penis should not be in the vagina. As the amount of kriyas increases with this technique, you may be tempted to fiercely hug and caress one another. Kind of sounds like natural ecstasy being released, DMT in the body. So resist this temptation. Keep clear and open eye contact with each other. You will quickly learn that the energy field is broken when eye contact is broken. The result is a loss of built-up energy, and it will take many minutes to rebuild that energy level that existed before the break in eye contact. So, after you have practiced this technique without clothes to a point where you can maintain the eye and breath contact for a minimum of 20 minutes, you may add physical caresses. Since you do not want to break eye contact, this cannot include kissing and will be limited to the use of hands, so pay attention to the parts of the body that are not generally considered highly sensitive to touch. Caress the face and ears. Don't block the eye contact. The arms, legs, chest, and stomach. The woman can reach under herself to caress his penis, and scrotum while he also caresses her breasts, clitoris, and vagina. Although neither of you should have an orgasm, it will be a good sign if her lubricating fluids make both of your genitals quite wet. If either of you feels an approaching orgasm, you should tell your partner, so he or she will change the method of stimulation. So continue this practice until it can be done for a minimum of 20 minutes. Although lasting 40 minutes would be better. I think so too. The longer the better. Why not? When the caressing is added to the amount of energy cycled between you both, it should again increase. The kriyas may be enough to shake you apart from one another. Wow, like convulsions. In which case you should start the exercise over. Once you have completed the exercise, intercourse or other sexual activity may take place. So that's pretty interesting. That is really, really interesting stuff. I like it. I mean, I like the intimacy. It's very, very sensual. It seems very sensual and very nice. So, as you have read, and I hope you have experienced, the more intimate the contact, the greater the amount of psychosexual energy. So the greater the amount of intimate contact, the more powerful are the kiras. Also, they are greater in number. The intensity of the energy increases. If you have accomplished all of the above exercises to your satisfaction, you are ready to proceed to the next ritual. So all that I have described in this section has only been preparation for what is to happen. So tomorrow we will go over the tantric ritual of inner alchemy, because it is very long. Actually, we'll go over it right now. So, alright, this is the tantric ritual of inner alchemy. So, adapted to Western traditions. Step 1. Have your room dimly lit, preferably with candles. Let there be many sticks of incense burning, primarily of sandalwood, patchouli, or musk. Oh, that reminds me of that commercial for slinging. I feel like I am. There we go. Slinging. Light a candle. Put on some musk. Open the windows and let the neighbors watch. Just for TV. It's a TV commercial. I know you guys have seen it. So be sure to keep it dim. Be sure to keep them lit. Oh, in the center should be your place of comfort. And with arm's reach of it should be some water, wine, meat, or dry cereal, fish, or ginger, and sensual toys, such as feathers, gloves of fur, scented and flavored oils, etc. Most definitely not to be included are vibrators, penis desensitizing creams, no, those are awful, or sprays, or anything which would inflict pain or punishment. Gentle background music is also appropriate. Once the room is set up, close the door as you leave the room until the next part of the ritual. Remember to make sure that the candles and incense cannot start a fire. Take the phone off the hook. Tell anyone not involved that you and your partner do not wish to be disturbed for the next few hours. So, I like this. Step 2. Together, you and your partner should take a long, leisurely bath, if at all possible. Scent the water with sandalwood or musk. Light the bathroom with candles. As you wash each other, talk out any problems you had during the day, and let the emotional charge associated with these problems fade away. As the problems and their associated emotions fade, feel free to play with one another. Although sexual contact is encouraged, do not have intercourse. Okay, this sounds like lupercalia. If you do not have access to a bath, shower together, then apply a light amount of scented oil or talc, I wouldn't use talcum powder, to each other. Finally, put on your magical robes. Alright, step 3. Perform the opening by watchtower, or at the very least, do the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Step 4. Sit together, the woman to the left of the man, and hold and caress one another. Feed each other with small amounts of the foods and drinks. Caress each other both physically and with words until the sexual excitation becomes so intense that the robes must be removed. Do so if this step took less than what you figure to be half an hour. But don't have any clocks in the room. You are going too fast. There's no rush. Step 5. Continue in the same manner. Use the toys you have brought. If either of you nears orgasm, slow down. Step 6. Once the excitation has reached such a state that the man is very erect and the woman is very lubricated, they can assume either position already given in the exercises. However, this time the woman should take the penis and insert it into her vagina. There is another position which many couples seem to prefer and can be used as an alternative to the previously described positions. So the man lies flat on his back and brings his legs up so that they almost touch his chest. The woman, with her back toward his face, literally sits on his exposed penis, making sure that she achieves a deep penetration into her vagina. At this time, the man can relax his legs. If the woman pivots to either side slightly, he will find that he will be able to place one foot on the floor and rest the other leg over her hip and leg. So this is a bit difficult to describe, but it's very easy to achieve. You guys can understand. Alright, so the man can reach up and caress the woman from behind, and the woman can easily caress his genitals. Right, ouch. Ooh. Ooh. Cramping. Alright. Okay, so here we go. Where did I go? Step 7. If you have done the practice, you will find that by now, you should have reached a stage where eye contact is no longer necessary. But you must keep the linked breathing pattern. And, most importantly, don't move. That is, there should be no thrusting motions by either the man or the woman. The only motions should involve the woman contracting and relaxing the muscles of her vagina, and the man flexing the pubic muscles so that the penis will move within the vagina without thrusting motions. So, just natural muscle movements. Step 8. Now, as you do the linked breathing, feel the energy move through and around you. As you will learn, it is the intimate contact which is important. Therefore, since there is no thrusting, it is unimportant if the woman ceases to lubricate or the man loses his erection. So, stay still, except for inner genitalia motion described. Step 9. If the woman achieves one or more orgasms, fine. If the man approaches orgasm, let him use the control technique given earlier in this lesson. It's where you pinch the head and stop it. Now step 10. Let the caress increase until you have a Mahatantra experience. More on this later. Or until a minimum of 40 minutes have passed. Now, step 11. You may then have regular intercourse or engage in other sexual activity. The alchemical elixir produced will be very strong for a period of 15 minutes. And although it is not necessary for this ritual, you are urged not to waste it. Step 12. Do the closing by watchtower, or at least the lesser banishing ritual of pentagram. Right, and it's over. The rite's over. Alright, so a little side note. About the only thing I haven't covered is what I call the Mahatantra experience. Maha means great, and the Mahatantra experience is great indeed. It is nothing less than the experience of Akira magnified a millionfold. For most people, orgasms tend to be a brief climax which only resolves the immediate buildup of sexual energy. So, only rarely is it a true, total release. Even by yourself, that would be good. The Mahatantra experience is that ultimate, desired super-orgasm wherein your entire body seems to release the pent-up tension of years. It generally lasts for only 20 seconds to 2 minutes, but it may seem like it lasts for hours. Its feelings of joy, power, release, excitement, contentment, unity with all, of being one with the divine source of all that is. It is enlightenment. It is an altered state of consciousness that makes LSD look like a grain of sand compared to a dessert of ecstatic experience. Alright, that's awesome. You may have an orgasm when you experience Mahatantra, and if the man does so, he may or may not have an ejaculation of sperm. Although this technique is a form of inner alchemy, as we suggested in the ritual, do not waste the elixir. So, of the Mahatantra experience, I can tell you no more. So we're cut short here. Not because of vows or anything like that, but because there are no real words to describe intensely personal and subjective experiences. Until you have experienced Mahatantra, no words can describe it. Once you have experienced Mahatantra, no words can express it. Alright, so tomorrow we will do step 4, or part 4, still on lesson 10. And what do I want to... I'm just gonna, make this as Kundalini, so I don't get in trouble. So, alright guys. Well, I hope that was enjoyable. I really think that I love reading that stuff. It's just, it's very neat, so. Whew. Very warm. So yes, wow. Lots of tornadoes last night. Lots. I have some cleanup to do. No, we didn't get hit, but I don't know. They were all over the place. It was really kind of scary. I was outside though, just looking, kind of waiting. Like, duh. Lightning is going to strike me down, whatever. So, alright guys. I love you all very much. And I will see you all tomorrow with my special guest. It's going to be great. And I love you all, and thank you guys for watching.